Aloha, everyone. I am Lauren from Marry You in Hawaii. And today we have wedding officiant Kelehua Kawai to welcome us with her presence. Hello.
Aloha. Thanks for having me, Lauren.
Thank you so much for being here. So we will just jump right in. So tell us a fun fact about you.
On the side, I do voiceover work, so that's kind of fun, like for different videos or TV, radio commercials and whatnot. And so I get these projects from all around the world through certain websites that I'm on. And the most funny project that, well, not funny, but I mean, it was just so different. Project that I got was to be the voice of a vacuum cleaner. You know, one of those vacuum cleaners, like on what are they called? Um, Roombas.
Yes,
And so I think it's not that brand, but it's a brand from Germany, and they needed an English voiceover for it to give the directionals, like put the vacuum on the ground, please, you know. And so I just thought that was a funny experience. It was great though. I appreciated the job and I thought it was neat. So somewhere rolling around someone's house is my voice telling them what to do with their vacuum.
that's awesome. I love it. So neat. All right. Okay. So changing course a little bit, how did you get into wedding officiating?
A very dear friend, I dance hula for her company. She is also a wedding officiant, and she asked if I would be interested in performing a ceremony about a couple years ago because she had to travel internationally. And I said, sure. So she kind of showed me the ropes and got me familiar with everything, and the rest is history. So it's been a wonderful road and just one of the happiest jobs I've ever had. So all credit to her. Her name is Kavena Meckler. So yeah, it was great.
Amazing. Right. Okay. So what would you say your officiating style is?
My ceremony implements several Hawaiian elements, but it's still, a Western ceremony where the Hawaiian elements are nicely woven in with the the message, which of course is in English. Everything's in English with except the exception of a few Hawaiian elements like the an oli aloha that I do and a pule, a blessing, um, and some Hawaiian vows. But it's kind of meant to give the couple that feeling like, yeah, we got married in Hawaii, whether they're local or visitors. There's no doubt that, they're here and this is where their big event is taking place. Um, and so I try to make sure that they kind of have a feeling of aloha and malama. Malama is to care for. And so I always want my couples and their guests to feel cared for. And we work with some of the most incredible wedding vendors here in Hawaii. And so when the couple meets our team, I feel like, as a team, we help one another out in with the same goal of making our couples feel safe and cared for. So malama, that's kind of my ceremony style, is to take care of them. And a lot of times couples don't have their vows, personal vows, which is the norm I find. And I just say, "Do you want to follow my lead?" And they go, "Yeah, yep, that's what we're doing." And I say, "Great." So I really try to make everybody feel comfortable, and I really try to put them at ease. Like, this is just enjoy. From this point on, you look amazing. You've done all the work to get here. Just follow me, and it's going to be fun and beautiful and memorable. So that's kind of my ceremony style. And also flexible. I try to remain flexible for what their needs are. A lot of people don't necessarily know what they want to do, and they kind of just trust the officiants, all of us, to take care of those things, the ceremony itself. And others have preferences. And so I'll implement those preferences when they want me to.
Sounds great. So if you could describe your ideal wedding ceremony, what would it be like?
Um, well, I've been doing a lot of ceremonies on the beach, and that has been glorious and wonderful. And yet, you can do a ceremony anywhere in a church, in the forest over here. We have mountains and ocean, and I'm comfortable wherever as far as the location goes. Um, Ideal ceremony is just like I said, the couple just trusting me, to take care of them in that time that I have them and that I'm working with them. That they it's such a it's a pleasure to look at them and see them kind of sink into the moment and let go of all the planning and all the details and if there is any stress or not, um, and kind of be in the moment. And so an ideal ceremony is when I see that, when I get that reaction. I start in to what I'm saying and sharing, and then they're in it with me. You can see their faces relax and they look at each other because I have, of course, the couples look at one another and kind of melt into one another and go with it, and enjoy. Just have fun, and enjoy each other. So that's my ideal ceremony, regardless of the location.
All right. Are you flexible in working with couples on their script or incorporating different elements?
Absolutely. Sure thing. Like I said, they can always follow my lead. I have everything ready to go. And of course, if they have anything they want to put in there, something cultural, a special script, a special poem or saying or quote or scripture, I'm more than happy to do that. As well as, some come from different cultural backgrounds and they have cultural elements that are very common in those cultures, and I'm more than happy to become familiar with what that involves and work it right into the to my ceremony. So yeah, it's their day, so it's all about the couple and what they want. And I'm there to facilitate and, like I said, just to take care of them.
Oh, very good. What was the most unusual thing that you were asked to do as part of a wedding ceremony?
I'm really open to anything and everything. So, and I don't have, I think, I wish I could tell you, oh, I did this really funny. I don't yet have that story ready for you. Maybe one day and I'll let you know. It's more so, like I said, like the cultural elements that certain couples wanted me to do, and I quickly learned what they were and what the symbolism behind them was. And so nothing really funny or weird, but I've done the Filipino ceremonies, Japanese ceremonies, and because in Hawaii we have so many beautiful cultures, incredible cultures, African American. Um, and then this is not unusual at all, but actually it's unusual in that I'm not asked to do this often, but it's not unusual in a weird way. It's simply that the bride asked me to carry her mother who had passed away, her mother's Bible. And so during the whole ceremony, I carried her mom's Bible and I read the scriptures that she had chosen out of her mother's Bible. And it was just really, really sweet and touching for all of us. So,
That
yeah,
is so
when
sweet.
I get that funny story, though, I'll let you know.
Yes, I'm sure the stories will gather up, definitely.
I've I've had some fun couples though, like not where they've asked me to do something, but where people react differently when they're excited or nervous. And one of those ways is laughing. And so this couple would not stop giggling and laughing, and at some kind of serious parts too. But like I said, I'm flexible. Nothing bothers me. I just go with the flow. We had some um groomsmen, of course, here in Hawaii, yelling chihus and really loud cheers, kind of makes everybody stop and go, what just happened? But I just smile and just keep oh, and then when the kids, I always hope that parents know that when they bring when their children are there, especially their young children. I have young children, like I get it. And so if if they're gonna sit in the sand and start building castles or, walk over here, over there, it doesn't bother me as the officiant at all. And I always want to put one time I had an infant, and the baby was crying, and the auntie who was assigned to take care of the baby took took her, way over there, but she wouldn't stop crying. And I said, just hold her, it's fine. And so they brought her back, and they were fine holding her. And we went on with the ceremony and it was fine. So I just feel like it's with kids, you just have to be flexible and, you know, so yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, if you're not officiating weddings, where can we find you and what will you be doing?
Hmm. These days, you can find me in the ocean. So I love, love, love to go surfing. It's my happy place. It's free therapy. Whether you catch a wave or not, it's just there's something about being in the ocean. And my mother has a love for the ocean, for the water. She's a paddler and outrigger canoe paddler. And I just finally had the opportunity, finally, to pick up surfing and found some good friends to go with. And so I try to get out almost every day if I can squeeze a session in. Otherwise, I love hanging out with my family, my husband. We've always enjoyed watching shows, streaming, Netflix, Hulu, whatever. Um, I enjoy quality time with girlfriends too, when you finally get to hang out with your girlfriend and catch up. And we say in Hawaii, talk story, which means catch up. And love eating food. I don't necessarily cook it, but I love eating it. So I'm I'll eat anything. So I think that's what I've been up to lately especially during this season. And we have a puppy. We adopted a pandemic puppy, and that's new to me, and I can't imagine my life without her anymore. So,
I think we
um
caught a glimpse of her. Is she still
yeah,
around?
she is. Kona girl. She's lying down now. She was trying to jump up. It's so fun because my kids have gotten older, and when I come home, and we pull into the garage, she's right there at the door and she's all over us and jumping up on us. And this could happen through, with weddings, right? You might have a wedding in the morning and one in the afternoon. And so you come and go from home. And it's like every time we come home, it's like she hasn't seen us for 10 years. And that kind of love is so special. I'm not used to it, but I'm loving it. And it's been great during this season. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
So tell us what you mentioned that you love eating. What is your favorite Oahu restaurant?
If you ask me, what is your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite type of music? What's your favorite movie? I think it's my personality and just me. Like, I can never have one answer for that. So I was thinking about that. Like I said, I can eat pretty much anything. I love steak. So Ruth's Chris, Highs. Sometimes when we marry a couple and I say, "Oh, are you guys gonna go, celebrate after?" And they go to dinner and they're looking for a steak place. Highs on Kuhio and Waikiki is good. I love Ruth's Chris. Hawaiian People's Cafe has been around for a long time. I love pho, Vietnamese, ramen. I mean, Yelp is one of my favorite apps. Back when we could eat out a little more often, pre-pandemic days in restaurants. You still can now, and some of them are still open. So I always tell people, get on Yelp and check it out and look for whatever type of food you're looking for. And then, of course, on the North Shore, there's, Matsumoto shaved ice, um, the regular places to visit, Zippy's, Rainbow Drive-In in Waikiki. I mean, I could go on and on and on, so I probably should stop. Just, I think people sometimes know what they like and what they don't like. But if your palate is, curious, just check it out because in Hawaii there's so many types of ethnicities and foods.
Yeah,
So, Yeah, long answer, sorry.
Oh, no worries. Um, so where is your favorite beach? And it doesn't have to be for wet, it could
Mm.
be for surfing.
Yeah, it varies. So for surfing, for me, based on where I live on the island, I'm always in Waikiki or by Ala Moana. So there's a spot in Waikiki called Canoes. That's for surfing. Bowls on the east side, Baby Makapu'u. North Shore, I like to surf at Haleiwa. But for swimming, there's a place called Three Tables on the North Shore. It's next to Sharks Cove. I love going there. For family beach days, Kahana Valley, like if you have a supboard, it's fun to supboard out there. Um, Again, back to Makapu'u. For walking, like if you want to get exercise and walk 4 miles round trip, Kailua Bay is beautiful. It's an incredible site. There's a lot of windsurfers there and shore breaks and stuff. So it's again, oh, on the west side, I like Nimitz and White Plains for surfing or beach going with the family. So yeah, it's
Lots
there's
of
so many.
options.
Yeah.
Yeah. What advice do you have for newlyweds?
Mhm. Um, get to know your own love languages and that of your spouse. So you can look up love languages if you don't know them already. Um, I should know the author's name. It's not coming to mind right now.
I should
But they're
know it too. I mean, it's such a
oh,
well-known.
yeah. They have like free quizzes that you can take online to figure out what yours are. And then, you have your spouse take your partner take the quiz too. Basically, it's quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts, and acts of service. And if you know and you're honest with yourself of what your love languages are and what they aren't, you share that with each other and then you can figure out then you know best how to show love to them. A lot of people make the mistake of assuming that their partner's love language is the same as theirs. So that means that I would possibly accidentally show my partner a certain type of one of those five love languages, thinking that that's what he wants, but actually his is different. So if you get to know each other's, I just think it's a great concept, and it really does help, and you learn how to show love, and it can work with your friends and your children, your parents. Just learning each other's love language. I kind of think that there should be a sixth love language, and that should be food. So, so I mean that could be incorporated into acts of service, making food, but nah, you could just pick up and bring food to your loved one, and that's a love language right there for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my one out of a million pieces of advice.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, any must try, must see, must do things on Oahu for those visiting here?
There are so many things to do, and every island is so different and so special. Um, on and a lot of people come to Oahu and think, oh, it's so crowded and Waikiki, and I love it. I love Oahu. I love Maui and Kauai and the Big Island and Molokai as well, and Lanai. But this is my home, Oahu. This is where I grew up, and I,
I know, I love it too.
definitely, yeah. I don't know. There's so much to love and appreciate. It's all perspective. So yes, there's a lot of traffic, and not right now, but we have apps now to like tell us when to leave, so we can give ourselves enough time to get there. So beyond that, um, Waikiki has its own flair, and people don't know, but that's where the kings and queens of old Hawaii would go for respite. And because it's beautiful, you can be anywhere on the island and it's like raining, but you go to Waikiki and there's this sun shining down. It's so cool. Um, so there are places to eat in Waikiki. And then if you get out and you go, let's say, to the east side, depending on what you enjoy, I mean, if you're a hiker, there's a lot of hikes and you can look them up, of course, online. Makapu'u Lighthouse Trail is always a winner. It's not too difficult. I used to take my kids when they were toddlers, babies even. And when it's
Yeah,
whale
they
watching
totally
season,
redid it now, all paid.
yeah. Yeah, so Makapu'u Diamond Head's always gonna be a famous trail. I don't know if it's open right now, but and then there's a ton of mountain trails. You just have to be careful and be conscientious, and be safe. If you're into the ocean, I kind of already shared about the surfing spots. Um, and then like I said, all the restaurants and eateries, shrimp on the North Shore, the food trucks in Haleiwa. I could go on. There's so many things, and I think, there's lists. I like everything, so it's hard for me to narrow it down and tell you, "Oh, make sure you do these 3 things." I'm always looking for something new and fun to do. There's ocean sports that you can sign up for. I had a couple that I married today, and they're going parasailing tomorrow. Other people just wanna stay at the hotel and just veg and lounge. That's awesome, go to the spa, get a massage. So whatever your jam is, find out what works and do a little research and it'll come up. But hopefully I've named a few things that will be helpful. And of course the historic um um Pearl Harbor, and Punch Bowl and things like that. So
Yeah,
probably look out. Yeah.
okay. So, any last words you'd like to leave us with?
Well, I apologize. I shared a lot of words, probably more than you expected. But we're just so, I always say this, you can go anywhere in the world and get married. There's so many beautiful places, and Instagram will show you that. But, and I'm not just saying this because I live here and work here and that this is where I work. I really do love our home, and it's very, very special. There's so much Hawaiian culture too that we would love to share and for visitors and locals to be educated on. It's so much about the history of this place and certain areas that are so special, that when you come, if you get the opportunity to embrace some of those things and learn before you go home, in addition to all the fun places to eat and play, I just think that'll make your trip so much more fuller. And again, we're honored to perform your ceremony here in Hawaii. And Lauren has wonderful officiants. They're all amazing as individuals, in addition to their jobs as officiants. And um, we would be honored to be a part of your special day and to make it special for you. So, sending much aloha to wherever you are watching this.
Thank you so much and looking forward to catching up with you in person.
All right. Thanks so much. Take care. Aloha.
Thank you. Aloha.